Hi everyone, I'm Marissa, and today I'm going to be talking about a subject that kind of confuses me. I'm going to be talking about chemical reactions. I'm not confused on all the types of chemical reactions. Mainly, I just don't really understand combustion, or I didn't. So, I'm going to start off by talking about the basics of chemical reactions, and then I'll get more into combustion. So, a chemical reaction is a process when atoms of one or more substance are rearranged to form a different substance. Chemical reactions are everywhere around us. They occur in the breakdown of our food, and the photosynthesis in plants are actually a type of chemical reaction, and it even occurs in the burning of fossil fuels in our car engines to make our cars run. So you can tell when a chemical reaction is occurring in multiple ways. Fire is an example of a chemical reaction, and the heat and light is a form of energy that it gives off. So the heat and light is evidence that it's a chemical reaction. Other evidence would be color changes, odor, the formation of gas bubbles, and the change into a solid. So chemical reactions are made up of reactants, which are the starting substances, and products, which are the substances that are formed during the reaction. You can think of this as kind of a before and after transformation. The reactants would be the before and the substances would be the after. I have a visual of this. As you can see, so a reactant plus a reactant reacts to form the product. So, and then there are multiple types of chemical reactions. So the first, and to me the most simple, is synthesis. And this is when, I have a visual of this too, it's when one substance reacts with another to form a single product, basically. So we have A plus B reacts to form AB. And then a real life example of this would be calcium oxide, and it reacts with water, or H2O, to form calcium hydroxide. And then other types are decomposition, which is basically when a compound breaks down into two or more smaller substances. And then single replacement is when the atoms of one element replace the atoms of another element in a compound. And then the last is double replacement, which is basically single replacement, but there's one extra substance and they switch. So, yeah, but that's not what I'm focusing on. So, the one type that I have trouble with, like I mentioned, is combustion. And combustion is when oxygen combines with a substance and releases energy in the form of heat and or light. So this makes it an exothermic reaction because it releases energy, just like most chemical reactions, but I just wanted to add that. And then oxygen can combine in this way with many different substances, and this is why combustion is very common in our world today. So an example of this is the burning of fossil fuels. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a combustion reaction, and especially coal, the fossil fuel coal, because it is mostly made up of carbon. And water is also formed during combustion because combustion occurs between hydrogen and oxygen, and when these two react, a large amount of energy is released. So I'm just going to leave on this parting thought. The combustion reactions that I mentioned like just a second ago, they're both synthesis reactions, but don't think that all combustion reactions are synthesis, because they're not. So an example of this involves methane gas, or CH4, and oxygen. And as you can see, it does make two products, but oxygen replaces both places. So, yeah, thank you for watching. I hope I explained this well enough. Alright, thank you.